So Porter, can you tell us what your plans are after you retire as EVP?
I'm going to take a 6-month self-funded sabbatical along the Continental Divide Trail, hopefully walking through New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana.
How long will that take you?
About 6 months, good Lord willing.
You going by yourself or with your wife?
Wife is going to come as support. I'm going to need to be picked up once a week and rehabilitated and put back on the trail. So.
What are some of your favorite Academy memories?
Oh, doing recordings like this has been great fun.
Always.
When I started this job, we really didn't have much money, and part of my job description was to push bills through Congress. And I went to Washington, met with a staffer or two, and then saw what Pharma did to push the Medicare Part D legislation through. They had 4 full-time lobbyists for every member of Congress.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I said. I thought, 1/8 of my time, not going to happen.
It's challenging to create change in healthcare when you're a small industry.
It is. It is. And you can remember when you were president and the Part D benefit said the FDA couldn't approve anything that hadn't been shown to be safe and effective, and Roxanol, liquid morphine.
20 milligrams per ml was going to be gone.
Yeah, we reacted strongly, and Dr. Throckmorton called you up, as I remember.
It was actually the deputy director of the FDA who called me while I was at home one afternoon.
Those were amazing times when things really changed. And but then there have been, Ron, weren't you treasurer when the 2008 calamity occurred, and we had some money that we were getting ready to invest, and foot dragging kept all of our money in cash until the market hit the bottom?
Right. We basically kept from losing our shirts by being plodding in our efforts to enter the investment market.
Well, it was...
And it certainly paid off.
It paid off big time. So, and I'll never forget the year before the last grandfathering exam when we had a very aggressive budget and came in with $1 million more revenue than budgeted. It was quite a day.
It's nice being treasurer in those days.
That's been a hard act to follow, Ron.
So can you tell us some of the challenges and opportunities you see lying ahead for us in hospice and palliative medicine?
You know, it's a be careful what you ask for kind of thing. We have always wanted to be a part of organized medicine, and now we are. But now we have to play by their rules, and that's very challenging. How we're going to manage the workforce issues, how we're going to keep from being just swallowed up into the what ACOs and hospitalists are expected to do all the time anyway, how we're going to keep hospice from being relegated to brink of death care is really going to be challenging.
You mentioned that about being part of the House of Medicine, so to speak, but I just came from the maintenance of certification discussion, and it's just amazing. When we first got involved with this, it was, could we even be a specialty? Now we're debating how to be maintaining our certification.
Lots happening.
Yeah, there have been a lot of changes. What are some of the ways you've seen the Academy change over the last decade?
Well, Steve and the presidents have brought so much professionalism and leadership. We're not down in the weeds doing committee work. We're really making strategic decisions, getting great consultants to help us where we need it, and to avoid some of the pitfalls that have really torn other agencies apart, associations.
What do you think are the challenges for the Academy in the next decade?
To strike a balance between trying to do everything for everybody and really focusing on what we do well. You know, on the one hand, it would be a shame to stop some of the things that we're doing that are holding us all together, like the work with academic task force and the different communities. And on the other hand, we really need to focus on the education and the communities that are what people really come to meetings for. So that's going to be a challenging balance to both try to hold hospice and palliative medicine together and to provide enough services so there's not a strong need for other associations, and yet at the same time really focus on what we do well.
Are there other things you see as the Academy's strengths?
Yeah, the personalities inherent in hospice and palliative medicine. I mean, those of us that went into this job tend to be good listeners, tend to be polite, tend to have a lot of tolerance for diversity, and those are enormous strengths when it comes to managing things. Tom Smith talked about the difference between going to an ASCO meeting and going to a palliative care meeting. So I think we have some wonderful leaders with great people skills that are going to pull us forward, and certainly Steve and the staff have done spectacular work, and I expect that to continue.
So you talked a little bit about the traits of a hospice and palliative medicine clinician, but what are the traits that you think it takes to be a leader in the field?
You know, there is, leaders always have a certain amount of drive or chi or willingness to do a little more. But also, I think some of us have really gotten the mission bug. We really don't want people to spend their final months in misery. We know it can be much better than that, and we're just not going to take no for an answer. And that's...
Amen, brother.
Well, I know I'm talking to two of the leaders that have done an awful lot for this field, but both of you really have invested so much to bring the field along, and we're just not going to let go of that mission.
You made it relatively easy for the two of us because you were there in the great leadership you provided, so thank you.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's been a remarkable opportunity to, and part of the things I'll miss most are my friends, my colleagues, the ability to work with folks I really respect on a mission that's really deeply important to me. But I know that the Academy's in good hands, that we have wonderful leaders, and the big picture-wise, we're not going to provide good care to our most expensive, most vulnerable patients without what hospice and palliative medicine has to offer. So I'm really optimistic that we'll continue to grow and that the mission will succeed.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to tell me once more the story of the first Academy meeting.
Well, I have vivid memories of those round tables at Estes Park, and people like Robert Tricross and Bal Mount sitting at the table telling stories, and Susan Block and Andy Billings with little kids in diapers that they were taking care of while they were trying to attend the meetings. And my wife went with me and is not much of a wilderness person, and when we walked back into the room, she had left some cookies on the bed, and there were prairie dogs that had gotten under the door and were eating the cookies on the bed. And they scurried past us as we walked into the room. And so there are definitely memories that will not fade soon.
So are there any other things you want to tell us about for the listeners to this collection?
The field really needed pioneers that were of the don't take no for an answer, dogged, bullheaded type, but to get going. But now we really need both strength and purpose, but also the ability to collaborate, work with other people. And it's being able to both be a advocate for our patients and at the same time go to the palliative oncology meetings and rub shoulders with oncologists and begin to see the world through their lenses. So I really think that as the field evolves, the leaders are evolving to meet the changing needs, and that will involve more collaboration and less confrontation. And I really see a lot of forward movement in that regard.
That's excellent.
Thank you for
And we're still
doing
going to let
this.
you come to the Academy meetings. You know that,
I
right?
think so.
So
Well-
it's not like you're leaving us forever.
Good. I like that. Well, I will plan on staying in touch, and I will be very interested in how the field continues to evolve and the Academy continues to prosper.
Thank you.
Thank you.